All right. Hello, hello, everyone. Today is Thanksgiving week, and we are going to end this month here with our newest podcast with Alex Jackson. And he is from South Carolina. And I know all about him, but I don't think I've ever talked to him before. So I'm pretty excited. So, hey, Alex, welcome to Life After Paralysis. How are you?
Thank you, Tiffany. I'm doing well. How are you doing
I'm
today?
doing okay. It's exciting because I only have to work 3 days this week. So that's great.
Same here. I'm like loving that already.
It's kind of cool that it's already this time of year. It's the holidays. There's so much going on. And are you the kind of person that loves this time of year?
I do. I don't really like the cooler weather, so to speak. It's still not cold yet here in South Carolina, but
Okay.
um,
Mhm.
I do love the fall season and the holidays, of course, with spending time with family and friends and taking a break from work. So I'm definitely looking forward to
Totally.
the holidays.
What's your favorite Thanksgiving food?
Ham is my favorite. I'm a big ham fan. I think turkey is just a little too dried out for me, and then of course the sides, macaroni and cheese. My family makes a good broccoli casserole, so I'm looking forward to
Mm.
all of those good dishes.
Yum. I love to ask what people's favorite things are because I know I live in Minnesota, so what we sometimes eat different regional foods than maybe what people eat in South Carolina. So it's fun to hear about what everyone serves different foods all around the country for Thanksgiving. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I tend to like green bean casserole, which is super boring. And then I love stuffing, which is really boring. We don't call You call it stuffing where you live? Is it
I call
stuffing?
it dressing where I live.
Dressing. See, there's
Yeah.
another thing. We could
Hmm.
go on and on, but it's super great to meet you. You've been paralyzed since you were a baby, right?
Yeah.
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 And I don't want you to tell your story for you. So I know you're from South Carolina, but why don't you just let everybody know who's listening, like just how you were injured and I think you're in your 30s now, right?
Yes, I'm knocking on the door of 40, but yep,
Okay.
I'm 38 years old. I've been in a wheelchair, paralyzed with a spinal cord injury since I was about 9 months old, and I was injured in a motor vehicle accident caused by a drunken driver that hit me and my mom head on, and so I sustained a C5, C6 spinal cord injury.
Mhm.
I have use of my right hand and arm, um,
Nice.
partially to do everything from driving my wheelchair, driving my van, typing on the computer, feeding myself, those sorts of things.
Mhm.
And then in that accident, my mom was injured with a broken pelvis and was in a coma for about a month or so, and
Ooh.
but she fully recovered and is a was she's retired now, but was a practicing physician
Ooh.
taking care of children with sickle cell disease.
Wow.
So
Wow. That's amazing. Your mom is, oh wow. So when you were injured, I imagine since she understood it so well, it was like she must have wished you there all the time and she probably was just a wonderful advocate for you.
yes, she was definitely the biggest advocate for me, and my dad and other family members and friends all throughout growing up were very supportive of me and didn't let me or didn't limit me from doing things. So I was involved in all the extracurricular activities in school and scouting growing up, sang in the school
Oh,
chorus. So it was definitely I didn't feel like I was um, hindered from doing things that I wanted to try.
love it. What were some of the things that they modified for you when you were hanging out with as a kid? Do you remember anything that sticks out? Like, well, that was really great.
Honestly, there wasn't very much that we modified. I when I was really small, I was in a manual wheelchair, and they could
Mhm.
just wheel me into the house or roll me up the steps, those sorts of things. But as I got older, I used a power wheelchair since I was probably like 12 years old. We did put a ramp in the house and um, could get around to most of the rooms and other than that, there wasn't a whole lot. Now that I'm an adult, I have a Hoyer lift in the ceiling in my room, and um, I've used like the floor Hoyers over the years too. But for the most part, there weren't many accommodations that I needed in the house, and it just has worked out from there.
I was just curious, as a little kid, because I got hurt at 14. So then I was already as a teenager, I was past playing with my friends. But when you're young and in a wheelchair like you were, did you just hang out and go to all the field trips and like go on the roller coasters and go to the water parks? Did they just carry you on? Or how did that work with you and your friends? Or did you just watch from the sidelines?
No, I actually went on several trips. When I was in middle school, we had a summer camp that was at the local high school, and so one of the camp counselors that I actually went to church with was one of the counselors with me, and
Hmm.
he would get me out of my chair and back. I think I had like one of those bath chairs, not
Okay.
the
Mhm.
ones with the PVC pipes, but
Right.
there's more mesh
Those are
lower to
nice.
the ground. Yeah,
Yeah.
lower to the ground. So I used to use that in the tub, but we took that to the water parks, and I was able
Cool.
to
See,
get in the water and hang out with friends. And
I love that.
so yeah, they figured out a way for me to do pretty much everything. Um, Went to the skating rink, and the kids would ride on or hold on to the back of my chair to
Yeah.
go around
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
skating rink and
That's great. Mhm.
pretty much
Yeah.
everything. And then they like for school field trips, there
Mhm.
would be the accessible bus, and everybody would get on there. So there
Yeah.
were very many opportunities where I was able to still do all of those things.
That's wonderful to hear. And I bet you, all your friends sound like they're pretty cool people, you know? Yeah,
Yeah,
good friends. You're surrounded by good people. You're very lucky. I love that you had that. And so after you went through the whole high school thing and I kind of want to talk about your experience at college because I think that's a really huge, huge part of your life, isn't it?
it is.
Yeah.
Yep. I
It's a,
graduated. Oh, go ahead.
good. No, just tell us, I guess, how did you decide on the school that you went to and why and in your studies?
Yeah, so I went to the College of Charleston, which is here in my hometown, Charleston, South Carolina.
Mhm.
Um, and I love the school. It's actually like in this urban city of Charleston, so it's a uh, big campus
Okay.
going through the streets of downtown Charleston. Um, and I loved it for the academics, but also for the location. I really like the city's lifestyle. You're close to everything,
Yeah.
easy to get around. I applied to other schools, but they would have been um, further out and not as accessible to
Yeah.
me. At that time, when I was in college, I wasn't driving at that time, so
Okay. I was
I was
about to
riding.
ask. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was riding
Mhm.
into.
Mhm.
Uh, my mom would drop me off at the school as she was
Okay.
going to work, and it was a few blocks from her job, so
Yeah.
we'd be able to get dropped off there. I'll drive my wheelchair down to the campus, and um, if you're not familiar with Charleston, there's a lot of historic buildings and sidewalks, so it
I've
can be a
heard
little
that.
bit difficult to maneuver.
Oh, okay.
Sidewalks are not the greatest. We're making improvements, but it's a slow process.
Mm.
But I just like the convenience of being in the city, so I could go from one part of town to to the other in my wheelchair.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I liked College of Charleston, and
Yeah.
the academics, as I mentioned, were great. I majored in media studies,
Okay.
communication, broadcast journalism. So I did college radio for the 4 years that I was there,
Wow.
and
Mhm.
wanted to go into
Mhm.
like TV news, broadcasting, and that
Yeah.
quite didn't pan out. But I'm able to do that in my job now. I work for the Department of the Navy in their public affairs office and help
Wow.
basically do the media for them.
That's amazing. How did you decide on communications when you first entered school? Because I think a lot of people are, especially when they have a spinal cord injury or any disability where you have, you might think you can't enter any field, or maybe you feel like you can't. And so you want to make sure you pick the right field for yourself. Was communication something you thought would be easy to do, or what was your interest in it?
Yeah, so it sort of ties back to when my um, mom would be going to do some media events for her job and
Hmm.
promoting sickle cell awareness. I would be going with her to the television stations and radio stations and
Okay,
really
yeah.
enjoyed seeing
The
the
inner
behind the
workings.
scenes,
Yeah,
yeah, behind the scenes of it all,
cool. Yeah.
and
Hmm.
got to meet a lot of the reporters and producers. And
Yeah.
so initially, I thought I was going to be more on the back end. I like the the technical side of how the cameras operate and how they do all the producing and directing. And then um, I did sort of an internship or um, a work study with one of the local TV stations
Oh,
in high
cool.
school and just got
Okay.
to learn about that. And then I think once I got to college, I realized the journalism side of telling the news stories and things were more interesting or just as interesting to me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
How did you know that when you were a radio though, and you did the radio show in college, was that something you thought you were going to do too, was radio?
yeah, so I liked radio format, and I was DJing a music show
Okay.
during college and made it more of like a talk radio. And I think that's
Mm.
where I developed my disability advocacy
Oh,
skills. And so I was able to
really?
tie in my
Mm.
communication and advocacy.
Yeah,
Um, that's sort of driven my life since then. So
that's
I would
great.
interview
Mhm.
students with disabilities on campus.
Okay.
Um, there, ironically, the radio station was in a location that was not accessible initially. And
What?
so, yeah, so that was my pivotal moment to advocate for accessibility and
That's
use my
crazy. So what did
voice.
you do? How did you even start doing something when you're like learning that thing? Like what did, yeah.
So we
Mhm.
initially had a laptop and a computer where I could remote into the DJing software. I was in another location on
Cool.
campus to do the radio show. So they found an accommodation for me in that respect, but I was still advocating for inclusion where I needed to be in the studio. I wanted to be in the studio
Yeah.
with the other folks who were doing radio, and the TV station was in that building, and the newspaper, all of the student media activities. And so it was through those opportunities that I was able to get the college to approve getting an elevator in that
Nice.
building
Yeah.
about halfway through my college career. So,
Bravo. That is like a really huge accomplishment, you know? And just to
yes,
bring up,
yeah,
you just got to bring it up. Sometimes when people are afraid to be the person that has an issue, were you ever afraid they would be annoyed with you at all? That sometimes people have that issue, you know?
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you sort of don't want to like, um,
Rock the boat, I
cause
guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
you don't want to be a burden or cause more work for someone, but at the same time you've got to use your voice to make
Yep.
change, because if you don't speak up, people won't know what the issues are. So
And so I'm sure that elevator is super appreciated now by everybody, you know?
yes, it's definitely been great. And um, after we um, after we were able to get that elevator installed, I was in the studio with everyone and finished out my, I think, the last 2 years of my college time in the studio, and got to help out with a lot more, which was really great.
Really cool. That's what college is for. You found your voice, your advocacy voice. And so when you graduated, you had a BA or did you get a master's in communications?
So I got a BA
Mhm.
initially in media studies communication. Then I went back for my master's also at College of Charleston, and that
Amazing.
was in corporate communications. It had
Cool.
more of a healthcare aspect in that one, but
Okay.
I wasn't sure what I wanted to do exactly when I was in grad school. But I uh, had a idea that I loved, like the healthcare aspect and helping communicate. Obviously, with the disability side of things, I could relate to some things there. So I ended up doing a graduate school internship at the Medical University of South Carolina with
Cool.
their public relations office, and
Okay.
um, that's where I got to build on my journalism skills and writing for their
Okay.
newspaper, and then once I graduated with my master's, I was able to get connected with the Department of Navy, Department of Defense,
Wow.
and that's sort of been where I've been ever since.
That must be a more of an intimidating place to work. I don't know what it's like to work at a place like that. It's Naval Information Warfare Systems Command.
Yes,
Navwar. Wow. It sounds like something out of a movie almost. What's it like? Is it pretty like officey or is it more do you work from home, I guess is a good question.
we're back in the office now. During the
Mhm.
pandemic, we were working from home,
Okay.
but we're back in the office now. And Navwar is our headquarters organization, and they're based out of San Diego, but we
Okay.
have an East Coast office called Naval Information Warfare Center Atlantic, and that's
Ooh, okay, sorry. Well,
where we
mhm.
are. And I'm that acronym is NIWC, and so
Okay.
work in
Mhm.
our Charleston office, which is the headquarters for the East Coast
Wow.
and
All right.
our European region. So,
That must be
um,
quite exciting. Is there you probably can't say all the stuff you do because I know it's probably some stuff that's private, but when the public in the world of public affairs, what is like the general stuff that one does in that position?
so I consider it we're like the news organization for the Navy. So
Okay.
we're writing the news stories about what we are doing to support the warfighter. We prepare our employees for when they need to go out to speak at an event or
Mhm.
um, do media interviews. I help with that team on preparing them with talking points and getting their message together. And so um, we have an internal communication team and external team, and we just help share to our audience what we do.
Awesome. That's awesome. And so outside of your 9 to 5 job, you're really involved in a lot of advocacy, and it's mainly disability advocacy, correct?
Yes, for the most part,
Yeah.
I do a lot with our state Spinal Cord Injury Association, and locally with the Mayor's Commission on Disability Issues, to help address accessibility and um, needs for both residents and visitors here in
Mm.
the Charleston area.
Okay. That's one thing too. I've always wanted to visit Charleston. And like you said earlier, it's got a lot of history, which means it's not fully accessible, right? Because it was built such a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
there's a lot of sidewalks that are have sort of the older cobblestone um,
mhm.
textures and things like that. And we're I'm wanting to make sure that the city understands the importance of preserving that history, but also making it functional and livable for people of all abilities.
That's awesome. I think that's so cool to be able to kind of hopefully bring those two worlds together and have both sides be happy, right? Is
Yes,
there a lack of curb cuts in Charleston, or are those present at least?
they are becoming more present in recent years. I know the city has done a great job of ensuring that major um, thoroughfares are accessible. So as part of our mayor's commission, we're going to be soon doing an assessment of getting from one location to the other in our major tourist destinations and going sidewalk by sidewalk. So we're going to actually physically go to businesses and restaurants and say um, what they're doing well, making sure that people can get in and out easily,
Yeah.
shop and dine and do the things that everyone wants to do. So
That's
um,
awesome. I think a lot of people want to get involved in that and they don't know how. And I know Charleston's a bigger city. So was there a disability or commission or something like that already established, or did you have to establish, or how does something like that get, and how do you get the mayor involved in even caring, you know?
So we've had the commission for several years. I believe it started in the early 90s.
Okay.
And then, excuse me, and then there
Yeah.
were sort of, I think it sort of went dormant for a little bit and was sort of reaffirmed in the early 2000s.
Okay.
And so I joined in this most recent iteration of the group, and uh, through our ADA coordinator and city
Cool.
leaders, we wanted to
Yeah.
make sure that um, the community's voice was heard and that they would realize how important um, these accessibility challenges are. So
I love that. And if someone out there's listening and they want to get involved, you just show up, right, to one of the meetings and say, I want to help out somehow.
yeah, so we the meetings are usually on the third Fridays of the month in the Gilliard Center here in Charleston. We advertise those on the city's website. There is a virtual option as well, and we can provide information to those who want to tune in virtually.
How about someone living in the middle of Montana, let's say, and they live in a town that's not very accessible? What would you recommend someone out there? What would be the first step in helping trying to get the town to be more accessible?
I would definitely try to reach out to if there are independent living centers near you
Hmm.
um, that would know your region well, see what other resources are out there. I think oftentimes, if you're not connected with an organization, you may not know what's already available, and
Yeah.
so um, that would be my first recommendation is to look up your local independent living centers. Each state has several of them, and I think it's a great resource to begin inquiring.
How about just making your voice heard on social media? Do you ever just make noise on social media when you're upset with stuff that's not accessible?
Absolutely. So yeah, I share on my platforms whenever um, there's someone parking on the access aisle in the parking lot or parking their motorcycle,
Heck yeah. Yeah.
whatever the issue is. So yeah,
Hmm.
social media is a great way to communicate and I find that it helps the disability community, but it also helps the non-disabled
The
community. They may not
world.
even realize
Yeah. Mhm.
how much is affected by what they may or may not know. So parking a shopping cart on an access aisle or your vehicle on an access aisle is a way to educate them, or
Yep.
when they do that and point it out, that's a way to educate them on why it's not appropriate to park there.
Totally. Yeah.
So yeah,
It's always
those
a good
are
learning moment. And I think that's a really good way to look at it too, you know? The hard part is when you tell someone and then they just still don't care.
that's the hard part.
Oh,
Yeah, very
you,
frustrating.
so you are, is accessibility advocacy, like, would you say the main one you're interested in, or what are other areas you've advocated for in the world of disability stuff?
Transportation is one of my bigger
Okay.
points on advocacy. Ever since I started driving, and even before then, I
Yes.
realized how important transportation is, even in
It's so hard.
a
Yeah.
city that like Charleston, where things are relatively close. And I can only imagine living in a more
Oh my
rural
God.
area, it's even more difficult. But
Hmm.
um, I I realize how vital transportation is to every aspect of life. So getting to a medical appointment, getting to work, just to hang out with friends, it's part of your social identity and needing to have that connection with people. And so it's great to do things online or have people come by your house, but you want to get out of the house and
No, you need to be able to go somewhere. And that's everyone's, I think it's a God-given right, I
yeah,
believe.
absolutely.
Yeah. So did you help bring about any transportation changes in Charleston?
We're trying to.
Okay.
We're building. The city's building a rapid transit system. So
Oh,
it'll be buses that will go from one part of town
okay.
um, that's further out and coming all the way into the city.
Mhm.
Um, and so I've been into meeting with some of the folks that are planning that and some of the listening meetings and
Good.
sharing my opinions on
Just being,
those
yeah, that's
things.
good. And you
Yeah,
just being present there and having yourself there is good, you know?
definitely. And so that's one of my major um, things that I'm wanting to promote. And um, there's paratransit out there, but
Okay.
it's limited hours,
Yeah,
and
I was going to ask about
um,
that. What's available now, right? It's never that good, is it?
it's not. I had to use paratransit periodically when my vehicle is in the shop.
Yep.
And so where I live is just about a mile outside of the paratransit zone. So
Oh,
they
yeah.
technically wouldn't
Mhm.
come to my house to pick me up.
You can't even
So
see,
yeah,
how
it's
limited is that? They should have bigger circles too. I've always argued that here in the Twin Cities. It's stupid. So since you're able to drive, did you go through the like a driving school to get your hand controls and everything and or where did you go to get that set up with?
yes, I went through Shepherd Center in
Okay.
Atlanta.
Oh, that's a
Um,
great place. Yeah.
Yeah, so Shepherd is wonderful. I actually went to Shepherd when I was initially injured as an infant, did
Oh,
some small, like a limited rehab there. And then
yep.
when I was a teenager, I went back to
Right.
do
Yep.
the driver's training and
Oh,
did the full, like, I think it was about 2 weeks of training in Atlanta, and
Okay.
then since I was a South Carolina resident, they brought a vehicle to Charleston,
Oh,
allowed me to do my
cool.
road test, and
Really?
got to.
Wow. That sounds kind of,
Yeah.
were you 16? Did you do it right when you were old enough?
I was not. I had to wait till I was a little bit older.
Okay.
The waiting list for Shepherd Center back then was long, and so I
Oh,
obviously wanted to start driving with my friends who were in high school, and I did
yeah.
driver's ed with them and all of that. But it took longer to go through vocational rehabilitation to get approved, and then on the voc rehab or on the Shepherd Center list to get through the driver's program. But I'm I'm grateful for every moment of it, and it's been um, the greatest thing I've ever done. I drive everywhere. I've driven up to DC for work and Florida
Cool.
to visit family and friends and
Isn't it great?
Georgia. So yeah, the independence of mobility is amazing.
How old were you when you got your license, if you don't mind me asking?
I was 22 or something around there.
That's not that bad.
It was
That's
like
pretty young.
my
Yeah.
senior year of college, and
Okay. Cool.
um, so I was glad I could, drive myself to, graduation, do all those
Yeah.
milestone moments that most people want to do. So
Did you have a therapist tell you get these exact hand controls, or did you just pick what you wanted?
yes, I had to. They recommended a specific style. I used the J series
Okay.
joystick system through EMC. I'm not
Okay.
sure
Yep.
if you're familiar with
I've heard
them.
of that. It's electric based,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, so it's all electric bass. Some people use two different levers for gas brake and one for
Yep.
steering.
I do.
Um, Mine is all in one, so it can do steering, gas and brake all through the joystick, like driving a power wheelchair.
Wow.
And so,
That's
um,
amazing. That's
yeah.
amazing. Have you made any videos on YouTube showing it off, or is it, or so people can see it?
Yes, I have it on my blog, Tuesday
Okay.
Talk with Alex, which I'll
Cool.
share more near the end. But
I love that. Yes,
but
because
yeah,
that's great because it sounds pretty great. I know that driving is very intimidating for a lot of people, but for you, you're pretty confident behind the wheel, huh?
I am. It does take some practice and confidence to build up to it, and
Yeah.
I know it can be frustrating to like having to learn that system and all the equipment that's needed. But if you're able to do it, I definitely recommend it.
Mhm.
I know some folks that will get a vehicle modified and not ever drive it, and
Yeah.
so you put all that effort into it and not wanting to drive. But I
Yeah.
can get the confidence issue there, but
Yeah.
definitely build yourself up and like just challenge yourself to see what you can do. You might be surprised at what's possible.
How do you keep your balance behind the wheel? Because since I have a similar injury, you sometimes you kind of like need a chest strap. Do you just use the strap then, or?
I don't. I used to wear a chest strap. That was even not with driving, but just in
Mhm.
general. But I I've gotten a newer seating system on my chair, so the angle of my seat isn't leaning me forward as much,
Oh,
and
nice.
so I don't have to wear the chest strap anymore. I still have the seat belt
Okay.
buckled in automatically,
But you use
so I
your
can
joystick to
control.
drive, right? So that makes it easy too.
Yeah, so
Wow. Yeah, it's great. Oh man, I would love to drive with my joystick. I use the steering wheel and I go like this, right? And my arm gets tired. So that's
yeah.
pretty great. I
I
love
was
it.
one. I
Mhm.
wanted to do that just because the just using like the regular steering wheel, but I didn't have enough strength to be able to do that. So
God, and then you can drive all over the place with your thing. You don't even get tired. I should look
yeah.
into that for my next car. I love that.
So yeah,
So,
there's actually a I don't use the wheelchair joystick to drive. There's a separate one in the
oh, there's a
vehicle.
separate baby joystick that you use?
Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, but
I
but
should
yeah,
watch the video.
I'll share the video with you, and you
Okay.
can check it out. Yeah.
All right, cool. And also too, speaking of cool equipment, photography, I saw a photo of you with your really cool camera. Do you still do that?
Yes, I don't have enough much time to do photography like I would like, but
Yeah.
I have a tripod that can mount to the wheelchair, and then put the camera on there, and can use
Awesome.
the standard controls on the camera but I also have a remote control that I can use to take
Okay.
pictures and do video and
That looks pretty fun. Was that something that you wanted when you were in college? You were like, I'm gonna maybe get good at a camera so I could do it professionally, or was it more of a hobby?
it was more of a hobby to begin with.
Okay.
And then, but I have been able to use it for work and other projects. And so,
Cool.
um,
Yeah. Are you so it's digital camera, I'm assuming, right? Just going at it.
yep, digital, DSLR. I have a
Mhm.
Canon Rebel, and um, I like to do nature shots and
Okay.
things outdoors. I record videos and do all that sort of stuff on it. And
It's
I
fun.
try to, I'm
Mhm.
trying to do more content to post on my blog and social media.
I would love to see it. It's always good. And it's always when you're busy working full time though, it's hard to do stuff when you're not at work. I get tired and stuff. I know.
Yeah.
So before I let you go, I want to talk about Tuesday Talk with Alex. It's been something you've been doing for a while, right?
Yes, yeah. I've been writing that for the last 10 years or so.
Yeah.
Initially started with the South Carolina Spinal Cord Injury Association,
Okay.
and they were wanting to someone to blog about what it was like to live with a spinal cord injury, and I did that for them for about a year, and
Okay.
then took the blog on as my own since then, and I've posted sporadically. I'm trying to be a little bit more consistent now, but just sharing a day in the life of me and others like me who are dealing with spinal cord injuries,
Yeah.
the good, the bad, the indifferent, healthcare issues,
Mm.
traveling, transportation.
Hmm.
Um, I've had several um, pressure sores over the years, and I'm actually a bilateral amputee. So I've sort of shared a little bit about my
Okay.
journey over the years with that, and but everything that someone may want to know about living with a disability, I try to put it out there.
Well, we'll share the link for that. And is there any other links or anything else you want to like put out there before Zoom cuts us off?
I just want to let people know that I love the
Mhm.
Charleston area. So if you're in the area, definitely you can reach out to me on social media
Cool.
and
Yeah.
can come hang out and love to meet people. And
Yeah.
I'm a big foodie, so I can
Yeah.
send
What's
you
your
some
favorite
info.
restaurant?
Italian is my favorite food, so I don't
Okay.
know. There's several good Italian restaurants here in Charleston,
Cool.
so
Okay.
I'm always up for Italian.
I've heard it's a great food city.
Yes, yes.
One day, maybe I'll take you up on that offer. All right. Well, it's been a pleasure talking with you, Alex. You're awesome. You're doing some great stuff down there.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. It's been a
Eh,
pleasure talking with you.
Yeah, and have a great Thanksgiving and holiday season and all that good stuff. And I guess I'll just talk to you later, okay?
All right. Have a
All
great
right.
holiday.
Yep, thank you. Talk to you. Bye.
Bye.